complicating life, but you also must understand that in most of the cases, by the time the lawyers go to court, they have also tried to be able to mediate the dispute between the parties, which is encouraged. Now, if the parties do not want the dispute to be mediated, or they have also stuck and held on to their respective positions, the only option is to be able to look at the court system. But I think, Canary, what we should be focusing on is the fact that look at this number of 10%. If currently we are saying 10% are the only people accessing the court system, and we have increased the number of courts, we have also increased the number of judges, what will happen if the number increases to 20%? Or what will happen if the number increases to 30%? If you look at it from that perspective, you then understand that the alternative justice system that is as a country to be able to increase the number of judges if just 20% were able to access the judicial system. So it's important for all of us, both the people who come to the lawyers who are involved, the judiciary, that we must, given the numbers and given the statistics, we must be able to look at alternative justice system. So I think that the report actually points us to where the need is. Point number 2, Canary, is also for us to be able to look at the fact that the land division, the family division, and crimes, because the report is saying most of the legal issues are around land, around family, around crimes. So the judiciary must be able to use that report to allocate its resources, especially to the land division, family division, and the government also then must be able to focus on the crime aspects. That means focusing on resourcing the police and resourcing the Director of Public Prosecutions. So the report is evidence-based and I think can be used as a tool to improve access to justice.
Council, my last question to you is, so then what's the way forward? Council, my last question to you is, then what's the way forward?
As I've said, 2 things. One, we must, if the number just went to 20%, our judicial system would be clogged. So we have no alternative. There is no other alternative apart from focusing on alternative dispute resolution. And alternative dispute resolution means that we must focus, all of us who are stakeholders in the judicial system must ensure that most of these problems that we have are resolved through alternative dispute resolution. That is number 1. But for the 10% that is in the court system and for the numbers that we have been given, it's important that the judiciary now uses this report to allocate resources to the land division, family division, and more importantly, government should allocate more resources to the police and the Director of Public Prosecutions.
Thank you very much. That's the president of the Uganda Law Society right there, Bernard Owundo. Ladies and gentlemen, we have breaking news.
Breaking news.
The President of the Republic of Uganda, Yoweri Museveni, has just released the list of the new cabinet. And in his tweet, he does hereby inform the country that by the virtue of the authority given to the President of Uganda by Articles 108, Section 2, and the others, that is 108A, subsection 1, 113, subsection 1, 114, subsection 1 of the 1995 Constitution of the Republic of Uganda, that I hereby published a slightly amended list of the Cabinet of Uganda. Right there, Jessica Alupo maintains the post of Vice President. Robina Nabanja maintains the post of the Prime Minister and Leader of Government Business, and also the Right Honorable Rebecca Kadaga maintains the post of First Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for East African Community Affairs. The Right Honorable General Moses Ali maintains the post of Second Deputy Prime Minister and Deputy Leader of Government Business in Parliament. And we have right there the Minister of State Office of the Prime Minister, Bunyoro Affairs, Kacha Namyangu Jennifer. And we have Dr. Obote Ongalo, who is now the Minister of State in the Office of the Prime Minister in charge of TESO Affairs. Fred Bwino Chakulaga does go to Agriculture and Animal Industry and Fisheries in term, and who will be heading the Agriculture docket. Bright Rwamirama still stays within the Ministry of Agriculture and Animal Industry and Fisheries. That is within the docket of Animal animal industry. There's Honorable Adoa Helen, who now goes to the state, the Ministry of State, that is for Agriculture and Animal Industry and Fisheries, but in charge of fisheries. Deputy Attorney General Jackson Kafuzi maintained, and also see that there is Sarah Nyirabashitsi Mateke also has now moved from the Ministry of Gender, goes to the Ministry of Defense and Veteran Affairs in charge of defense. Martin Mugara maintains the Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities. We also have Gume Frederick, who is now the Minister of State for Trade and Industry and Corporate Affairs in charge of cooperatives. That's a new decade that he does get right there. David Bahati is now in charge of, actually he does maintain the Ministry of State for Trade, Industry and Cooperatives in charge of industry. The CDF, Wilson Mbasu Mbadi, that is a former CDF, and as we speak right now, because he now goes to become the Minister of State for Trade, Industry and Cooperatives in charge of trade. I'll repeat that. The former now CDF, General Wilson Mbasu Mbadi, is now a Minister for State in charge of trade, industry and cooperatives, but specifically in the docket for trade. Beatrice Anywa maintains the ministry that is for water and environment, in charge of the environment, and we also have Aisha Sekindi, who has now gone to a new docket that is going to become the Minister of State for Water and Environment in charge of water. Honorable Musa Echweru does maintain his ministry that is for works and transport, in charge of specifically works. Also have Henry Musasizi, who now also maintains his docket that is Minister of State for Finance, Planning and Economic Development, in charge of general duties. Amos Rugolobi and has also maintained his docket as Minister of State for Finance, Planning and Economic Development, in charge of planning. Evelyn Anite also does maintain her post as Minister of State for Finance, Planning and Economic Development, in charge of privatization and investment. Cheyune Haruna Kasoro, who is also the Minister of State for Finance, Planning and Economic Development, in charge of microfinance, does maintain his post. Okero Olyem maintains his post as Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, in charge of international affairs. John Mulimba maintains his post as Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, in charge of regional affairs. Peace Mutuzo maintains her post, that is Minister of State for Gender, Labor and Social Development, in charge of gender and culture. Moving on, we have the Honorable Kaindo Tafire also maintains his post as Minister in charge of Internal Affairs. Judith Nabakova maintains her post, that is Minister of Lands, Housing and Urban Development. We have Raphael Majezi, who has also maintained his post as Minister for Local Government. Muruli Mukasa maintains his post as Minister for Public Service. Tom Butime maintains his post as Minister of Tourism, Wildlife and Antiquities. Francis Mwebesa does go to maintains actually his post as Minister of Trade, Industry and Cooperatives. Cheptori Sam Mangusho does maintain his post as Minister of Water and Environment. Edward Katumba Wamala maintains his post as Minister of Works and Transport. We have Beatrice Akelo, who does also maintains her post as Minister of State, Office of the President, in charge of Economic Monitoring. And we also have Akelo Rose in charge of the Office of the President, but also maintains her post, that is Minister of State, Office of the President, in charge of Ethics and Integrity. Mutasi Ngwadana Nankunda maintains her post as Minister of State, that is in charge of the Office of the Vice President. Lydia Nabel is now Minister. Lydia Nabel is now Minister, that's woman Member of Parliament for Kitugum, Minister of State, Office of Prime Minister, in charge of Relief, Disaster Preparedness and Refugees. The former Private Secretary of the President, Dr. Omona Kenneth, is now a minister, and he does go to Ministry of State, Office of the Prime Minister, in charge of Northern Uganda. We also have right there Wamada Nambozo Florence, who now goes to the Ministry of State, Office of the Prime Minister, in charge of Karamoja. Have the two ministers been dropped in charge of Karamoja? We'll find out later on. The list is still ongoing. We also have the Minister of State, Office of the Prime Minister, Luero Triangle and Rwenzori Region. Alice Kaboyo has maintained her post. Moving on, we also have now Oleru Uda, who is going to be in charge of the Defense and Veteran Affairs, but specifically in the docket of Veteran Affairs. Magude Ikuya is now in charge of the affairs of the East African community, that is goes to that new post. Muyingo John Chrysostom does maintain his post as Minister of State for Education and Sports in charge of higher education. And we see Dr. Moriku Kaduchu Joyce does maintain her post as Minister of State for Education and Sports in charge of primary education. Peter Ogwang maintains his post as Minister of State for Education and Sports in charge of sports. We also have, of course, new developments right there in the Ministry of Energy and Minerals Development. Okasai Sidronias Opolot is now in charge as Minister of State for Energy and Minerals Development. And Nyamtoro Fiona, who has been the youth member of parliament, is now a Minister of State for Energy and Minerals Development. Well, as the Honorable Nankara have been dropped, we shall find out later. The list is still ongoing. Or actually, she does maintain her post as Minister of Energy and Minerals Development, Ruth Nankabirwa, and so does Oboth Maxon, who does maintain his post as Minister of Defense and Veteran Affairs. Matia Kasaija, the man in charge of finance, is now in charge of Minister of Finance, as Minister of Finance and Planning and Economic Development. JJ Odonga Abubakar maintains his post as Minister of Foreign Affairs. Betty Amongi maintains her post as Minister of Gender, Labor and Social Development. Jen Ruth Cheng maintains her post as Minister of Health. Dr. Chris Baryomunsi does maintain his post as Minister in charge of ICT. Right Honorable Kasule Lumumba maintains her post as Minister, and that is in the office of the Prime Minister in charge of general duties. Obua Dennis Hamson maintains his post as Government Chief Whip. Hilary Onek maintains his post as Minister of, in the office of the Prime Minister in charge of Relief, Disaster Preparedness and Refugees. Peter Lokeris does now be in charge of the Ministry of Karamoja Affairs. Frank Tumwebaze maintains his post as Minister of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries. Norbert Mao does bounce back as Minister for Constitutional Affairs. So does Chiriwachonka does bounce back as Attorney General. Going on, we have Lukia Nakadama, who does maintain her post as Third Deputy Prime Minister and Minister without portfolio. The First Lady, Janet Seven Kataa, does maintain her post as Minister of Education and Sports. We have Mariam Doka, who is going to be now, she does actually maintain her post as the Minister under the Office of the Presidency, Office of the President in charge of the presidency. Jim Mhweze General does maintain his post as Minister for Security. Dr. Msenero Monica does maintain her post as will be in charge as the will be in charge of Science, Technology and Innovation. Hajat Minsa Kabanda maintains her post, Minister for Kampala, Capital City and Metropolitan Affairs. Let's going on with the list of the new ministers. We also All right, that is the new cabinet that has just been released a couple of minutes ago and tweeted by the president at exactly 17 minutes past 9 p.m. That's a breaking story right there. We continue to follow those details and we'll be bringing you everything as we know it. NBS Live at 9 takes a break. We'll be back here in a bit.
Breaking news. Our stories begin right here. And we never write them alone. Sometimes we write them with someone who puts our story first. Other times with someone who puts their own story first. There'll be pages we love to read again and again, and some we'll barely remember. Sometimes we feel like the hero of our story, and other times, not. There are stories of dreamers, stories of creators, stories of strivers, stories of believers, and we're inspired by them all. That's why we invite you to write your story with us. Your story matters.
March is the month of film magic as the Uganda Communications Commission brings you the regional film competition. Experience the excitement across Uganda. Northern region in Moroto from the 4th to the 8th of March. Eastern region in Jinja from the 11th to the 15th of March. Central region in Mityana from the 18th to the 22nd of March. Western region in Kasese from the 24th to the 27th of March. Come and watch some of the best films made by your very own creative minds on their way to stardom. Follow and support the different nominees as they battle for top honors in each regional film competition. The winners will walk away with prestigious awards and exciting prizes. The regional film competition is powered by the Uganda Communications Commission, increasing diversity of Ugandan content.
For half a kilo of beans, add 2 Royco cubes. Royco cubes for the tastiest beans.
With our NCBA Bank Home Loan, we can finance up to 80% of your mortgage and give you a repayment period of up to 25 years.
Daddy, that is 25 birthdays for me in our own home. Many suppers together. Lots of laughter with Mommy.
We know that it's not about the house, but the many memories made in it. Get an NCBA home loan with up to 80% financing. The name is NCBA, and the numbers that matter to you matter to us. NCBA Bank. Go for it.
Welcome to Bakaima Real Estates, your gateway to titled property in Uganda. Come and explore our services, including real estate financing, land documentation, property sales, and more. Easily buy and sell land and houses on major roads connecting to Kampala with unique payment options that include paying directly or through our financial partners. Enjoy landlord benefits while paying in installments of up to 3 years through a 30% higher purchase arrangement. Visit us at Ham Towers, Makerere, first floor. Real people invest in real value. That's real estate.
Breaking news.
Breaking news, we have a new cabinet. The president just tweeted a while ago and released the new cabinet list. Many ministers have, of course, maintained their positions. However, a couple of them have been dropped. We also have new faces. Let's take a look at them. We also have Balam Bargahala, who is now the Minister of State for Gender, Labour and Social Development, in charge of Youth and Children Affairs. That was, of course, a docket that was previously occupied by Sarah Mateke. We also have right there Margaret Muhanga, who has maintained her post as Minister of State for Health in charge of primary health care. Banjirana Kawoya is now, of course, the Minister of State for Health in charge of general duties. Gidudu Mafabi, Minister of State for Gender, Labour and Social Development in charge of elderly affairs. Helen Asamo, Minister of State for Gender, Labour and Social Development in charge of disability affairs. Esther Anyakun Davinia, Minister of State for Gender, Labour and Social Development in charge of employment and industrial resolution. That's a new post for her. Joyce Sebugwawo, and of course, she also maintains her post as Minister of State for Information, National Guidance in charge of information. Let's take a look at also more new faces. Kabyanga Godfrey Baruku maintains his post as Minister of State for Information, Communications, Technology and National Guidance in charge of National Guidance. General David Mhozi does maintain his post as Minister of State in charge of Internal Affairs. Chofa Kawiye does maintain his post as Minister of State for Kampala Capital City and Metropolitan Affairs. Namuganza Parsis maintains her post as Minister of State for Lands, Housing and Urban Development despite being censured by Parliament. Obiga Kania does maintain his post of Minister of State for Lands, Housing and Urban Development in charge of Urban Development. Sam Mayanja maintains his post as Minister of State for Lands, Housing and Urban Development in charge of lands. Victoria Soke is the Minister of State for Local Government. Then we also have Grace Mary Mugasa, who has also maintained her post as Minister of State for Public Service. That's the new cabinet list as released by the president at exactly 17 minutes past 9 p.m. Now, if you want to follow what's going on in Dokolo, and with that election, vote tallying is still ongoing, but you can follow events live on the Afro mobile app. Of course, everything will be read to you and will be coming to you live as the Electoral Commission does tally results. Go to Afro mobile app and look for NBS Live. Now, moving on, the Ministry of Internal Affairs is concerned that its budget for the next financial year 2024-2025 has been cut. The ministry is now asking Parliament to maintain 1.9 trillion shillings to enable them to address critical service delivery. The State Minister for Internal Affairs, General David Mhozi, says failure to maintain the current budget will bring about persistent requests for supplementary funding during budget implementation.
The Ministry of Internal Affairs, with all its entities, the Uganda Police Force, Uganda Prison Service, Government Analytical Laboratory and NIRA, on Thursday appeared before the Defence Committee to submit their ministerial budget estimate for the financial year 2024-2025.
Honourable Chair and Honourable Members, the Ministry of Internal Affairs has been allocated a total of...
But according to the State Minister for Internal Affairs, General David Mhozi, the budget for the ministry has been slashed from 1.9 trillion shillings to 1.4 trillion shillings, something that will affect their operation in the year 2024-2025.
All requests should be maintained in the next financial year 2024-2025 budget to enable the ministry address critical service delivery areas and prevent persistent requests for supplementary funding during budget implementation and to avoid creating endemic arrears.
With an allocation of 34.279 billion, our requirement to effectively implement these outputs is 43.279 billion, and leaving us with a shortfall of 9.523 billion.
The projected cash flows for 24-25, Chair.
According to the Undersecretary of Uganda Police, 97 billion shillings is required for the procurement of police uniforms, 4 billion shillings for the electricity, 700 million Uganda shillings for water, 21 billion shillings for training of police officers, among others.
We are supposed to start planning for the elections in the next financial year. However, our development budget has remained 164. Now, if that is the money we have to do all those things, that means we are not able to budget in time for elections, where we need specialized equipment.
Relatedly, the Ministry of Internal Affairs will also focus on streamlining the NGO policy by bringing about accountability and sensitizing donors on the effects of money laundering and terrorism.
Ugandan cities are experiencing a transformation thanks to OSMID program. Mubende boasts a network of newly paved roads, while Entebe's facelift includes improved transportation for residents and tourists alike. Masaka, a once a neglected city, has seen a dramatic improvement in its infrastructure, leading some to believe it rivals the capital city, Kampala.
Mubende municipality, a predominantly agricultural hub, has long been celebrated as a nexus connecting Buganda, Bunyoro and Toro kingdoms, and yet until recently Mubende had only one tarmac route, the Kampala-Fort Portal Highway. This has since changed with USMID.
We are very grateful for those of you who knew Mubende. We had only one sealed road from Kampala, which going through to Fort Portal and Kasese. But as we speak now, most of the roads in town have been sealed.
Among the infrastructure interventions is an upgrade of 8.5 kilometers of road network across the municipality. Meanwhile, under the same program, Masaka City, once a shadow of its former self, has been revamped to an eminent transformed city. This, according to the Masaka resident city commissioner Hudu Hussein, has been possible due to USMID's intervention. In the predominantly opposition stronghold of the country, Hudu Hussein anticipates a political shift due to government intervention in the area.
If it's not hypocrisy, what would you call it if people don't appreciate? But I want to assure you, as the RCC, people are appreciating, and they will demonstrate this come 2026, because the lies of the opposition have been laid bare for the public. You remember before no, people thought nothing was being done.
Some roads that have delivered a new phase to Masaka City on account of USMID include rehabilitation of Koshi Street, 0.166 kilometers, Elgin Street - Kampala Road, 0.862 kilometers, Nyendo Market Circular Road, 0.823 kilometers, and Nyendo Market Loop, 0.310 kilometers. In Entebbe, the modern facelift actualized due to USMID's intervention has delivered a conducive travel environment to both urban revelers and those transiting outside the country due to its close proximity to Entebbe International Airport. It has also eased transport for people traveling across to the islands of Kalangala.
We have interconnecting roads, but we've done about 7-8 roads, I think. We have been doing the urban roads, fully fledged with drainage, covered drains, solar lighting, walkways, parking spaces in some areas. The only challenge we got with the Chitoro taxi park was that we decided to add another floor. So now the development of the taxi park was in two phases. So phase one did ground floor and first floor, but we decided as council to add another floor for future business space.
Across the board, officials in Entebbe, Masaka and Mubende point to the marked impact USMID has had on the greening activities within their communities.
But remember, we are trying to create a green town. And when you go to the hill and look at Mubende town, we are trying a level best to encourage people to plant trees.
More to come, brought to you by Castrol. It's more than just oil. It's liquid engineering.
The National Information Technology Authority of Uganda has launched UG Hub. When we come back.
March is the month of film magic as the Uganda Communications Commission brings you the regional film competition. Experience the excitement across Uganda. Northern region in Moroto from the 4th to the 8th of March. Eastern region in Jinja from the 11th to the 15th of March. Central region in Mitiana from the 18th to the 22nd of March. Western region in Kasese from the 24th to the 27th of March. Come and watch some of the best films made by your very own creative minds on their way to stardom. Follow and support the different nominees as they battle for top honors in each regional film competition. The winners will walk away with prestigious awards and exciting prizes. The regional film competition is powered by the Uganda Communications Commission, increasing diversity of Ugandan content.
Hello?
Boss, invoices haven't been paid.
Yeah?
We have no money and we can't make payroll.
Hello?
Mzee, we need a new cement mixer.
What?
Work has stopped.
Stay ahead in your business with Bank of Africa's contract financing solutions available at every stage of your contract. Visit the nearest branch or call our toll-free number 0800 100 140 to learn more. Bank of Africa, as strong as a group, as close as a partner.
Oh, Sarah. These two are creeping into your personal space. Why don't we send them packing? Or maybe not.
Imagine boarding a plane only to discover your border guy Musa is the pilot. Or going into the treatment room and Zizinga the mechanic will be doing your body check. We all want to be served by professionals, and professions have standards, including insurance. Trust the Insurance Training College to maintain high standards of insurance professionals in Uganda through training and certification programs that are accredited by the National Council for Higher Education. For more information, visit www.itc.sc.ug or email info@itc.sc.ug. Insurance Training College, enhancing professionalism. The membership and training arm of the insurance industry in Uganda.
Nala Instant Noodles, the ultimate convenience. Just boil, season, stir, and enjoy the delicious different flavors. Get your Nala Instant Noodles today for a quick, tasty meal. Available in shops and supermarkets countrywide. For wholesalers and traders, visit Chapa General Enterprises, shop number 3, Chikubo, Kampala, Rafik Building. Nala Instant Noodles, boil, season, stir, and enjoy.
The National Information Technology Authority Uganda has launched the UG Hub under the theme Save Data Exchange to enhance government sharing of data across all platforms. The Minister for ICT and National Guidance, Dr. Chris Bariomusi, who, by the way, has retained that docket, says ICT is key in fostering digital transformation in Uganda.
The new UG Hub is meant to integrate all MDAs so as to enable seamlessly sharing of data across government systems in a rational, secure, efficient and sustainable manner. This, according to the ICT Minister, Dr. Chris Baryomunsi, will improve service delivery to citizens as well as reporting, planning and decision-making across government and private entities.
For instance, in healthcare, interoperable health data exchange has the potential to save countless lives by enabling seamless access to patient records across healthcare providers. Similarly, in other areas like urban planning and transportation, data exchange facilitates real-time.
This was disclosed during the NITA-U stakeholders engagement on the new integrated means of sharing information about the different services provided by entities.
Secure and a scalable platform designed to integrate and remove social distancing of government services to form a foundation for a digital government built for e-government efficiency and citizen-centric services.
The trusted data exchange platform in UG Hub guarantees that the information is going to be accessed by the intended party.
The National Social Security Fund has today graduated the 6th cohort of the NSSF Pathfinder Catalyst Academy. It's the second, I'm sorry about that. 6 months course is an NSSF course sponsored by the CEO Summit with aim to empower women, tackle more aggressive opportunities and tasks in leadership positions.
The journey to break more glass ceilings in a male-dominated space is where the second cohort of the NSSF Pathfinder Catalyst Academy is headed, a journey that was started to undo an imbalance at Uganda's savings fund.
Beyond that 6 months, what should we be doing as a fund to complement the things that you've done? And I think we have a couple of things that we're experimenting with, and I think it will work. Let's not just talk about leadership training, and we think it's just a classroom exercise.
In the presence of a mentor in the female space across most sectors in investment, business and leadership, Maggie Chigozi urged the graduates to read the environment.
Biggest killer, integrity. Integrity. Ethics, corruption. The day your name has all these question marks on it, you're done for. There's no way Patrick could sit there.
Gender inequality, especially in workplaces, has continued to create barriers for women's success through unequal pay, gender stereotypes, and fewer promotions.
We are now joined by Ruheza Patrick, the Finns Medical University Secretary, to shed more light on developments at the university. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Could you share some key statistics regarding the number of graduates for this year's graduation ceremony, including the breakdown of degree programs, especially the big degrees?
Thank you very much, Samson. Good evening from Fort Portal, and I would like to say that our graduation is on tomorrow. Big numbers, good statistics. We are having 676 graduates who are going to be awarded tomorrow with the bachelor's, diploma, and the certificate programs. And this is a unique graduation, like we have been saying, where we are going to have 70% of the graduates as female. And we are having quite a number of programs, like Bachelor of Nursing Science, Bachelor of Midwifery Science, Bachelor of Science in Medical Education, we have a Diploma in Nursing, Diploma in Midwifery, Diploma in Clinical Medicine, Diploma in Pharmacy, Certificate in Nursing, Certificate in Pharmacy, Certificate in Midwifery, and many other programs. Those are some of the programs where the students are going to be awarded and conferred their qualifications tomorrow.
Highlight some notable achievements that Finns University has achieved since its establishment.
As a specialized health sciences training university, Finns Medical University has made quite a lot of achievements. I should say that we have had over 3,000 health workers trained across the country, and they are serving Ugandans in various capacities. And additionally, we started as a nursing school, which was having rated premises. I can tell you today we are having a modern institution with over 60 laboratories with lecture rooms, with over 20 laboratories, and a number of other facilities. We have established our own training hospital, the Great Lakes International Hospital. We have, in a record time, applied for a charter, and we can tell you that the National Council for Higher Education has already conducted successfully an inspection which is leading for the grant of charter. We are waiting for the charter to be given to us. We have fulfilled most of the requirements required for the charter. And those are some of the achievements we have made, among so many others, attracting human resources from across the world to work with us, attracting the students, increasing the numbers. Over 1,300 students are studying with us in various capacities. We're establishing new programs this August, medicine and surgery, pharmacy, laboratory technology, and many others. So those are quite a number of achievements which we shall be celebrating tomorrow.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ruweza. Unfortunately, due to the rain in your vicinity, at least you are lucky. The heat has come down where you are. We cannot get very good sound, but we will be live with that one tomorrow. Finns University, it definitely is there. You're watching NBS live at 9.
Business Pulse.
Time to talk business, and traders without electronic fiscal receipting and invoicing system have been urged to issue the receipts in the name of the shop where they got the merchandise for resale. It follows a heated meeting between Kampala City Traders Association, Kasita it is, and the Uganda Revenue Authority on taxation puzzle that has stretched for months. Traders have been opposed to the system, saying that it is incompatible with trading conditions downtown Kampala.
Chikubo remains the heartbeat of trade and the heart that pumps blood into the Ugandan economy through various taxes and the merchandise traded here. But traders here say that the conditions are tough. In fact, traders say that they are finding it hard to use the VAT tax compliance technology, the electronic fiscal receipting and invoicing solution.
For the computer, today they have the space to put the computers because you find that someone doesn't have where to sit.
After minutes of rants from the traders, the URA Commissioner General requested that the meeting should be closed door without the presence of journalists, which the traders opposed, thus causing chaos. After a few minutes, journalists were allowed back into the hall and the meeting went on as planned. The URA Commissioner General urged traders to support URA by complying with the electronic fiscal receipting and invoicing system. This angered more traders and some marched out in protest. This heated meeting has resolved that traders should now issue receipts in the names of the shops where they get the goods for resale, and all resolutions in this meeting will be written and sent to the Commissioner General for action soonest most. Since July last year, Uganda Revenue Authority and Kasita had been meeting to solve the taxation puzzle with no agreement.
Sports news brought to you by
Black shines bright. Drink it in.
The Uganda men's and women's team, they've picked gold medals at the 13th All-Africa Games in Accra, while Chemtai and Lala shine in athletics, securing silver and bronze, respectively.
Jubilant display of sporting prowess, Uganda's Rugby Sevens team clinched gold at the 13th African Games with their unbeaten run culminating in podium finishes. The Lady Rugby Cranes asserted dominance with resounding victories over Madagascar, Benin, Nigeria, Tunisia and hosts Ghana, securing a well-deserved gold medal podium. Coach Onen emphasizes the team's hard work.
It's a very good feeling, very good feeling, because as a coach we all want to win. But there's a lot that comes with winning. There's a lot of patience.
Similarly, the men's Rugby Sevens embarked on an exhilarating journey to victory, triumphing over Zimbabwe, Tunisia, Burkina Faso and Ghana. Phil Pokorach, expressing the significance of their gold medal win, reflects.
First and foremost, I would love to thank the Lord God for the victory. We asked for it and He gave it to us. Secondly, I commend the boys for putting up a very good fight from the beginning to the last, and that is all that the coach asked, and we gave it our best, and we came victors. I thank all of them. I thank the management. I thank Rugby Africa, Rugby Union, Uganda, and all our sponsors, because without them, it wouldn't have been possible, most especially the National Council of Sports.
In athletics, Peru's Chemtai and Josephine Joyce Alam shine brightly, adding to Uganda's medal tally. Chemtai's exceptional silver performance in the fiercely contested 3,000 steeplechase event and Alam's record-breaking bronze medal javelin throw bring honor to Uganda. Uganda has so far won 15 medals, 4 gold medals, 5 silver medals and 6 bronze medals.
Oh, Sarah, these two are creeping into your personal space. Why don't we send them packing? Or maybe not.
In December, you would shop without a shopping list. You would even ask for a driver for your shopping cart.
Hey, honestly, you want me to pay? And again I carry. Get someone to carry these things.
But now New Year is here. You're even carrying the weighing scale to the shop.
But, Chiruba, I can't come take a shower.
New Year, Komi party too with all its problems. But don't worry, because all is sorted with Stanbic Bank. Simply pay using your Stanbic Visa card or FlexiPay and stand to win up to a 10% cashback. For more information, contact us on 0800 150 150 or visit our social media platforms.
Rachel Rich. The Queen Cobra, the password of the money, the original no spare parts, the 11th commandment, the question and the answer.
Osmosis. I know you want money, but I'm also broke.
Ah, no. Money is not an object. These days, Momo sorts me out anytime. In fact, my sister, let me also sort you out.
Really?
I've just sent you instructions on how to get a loan on Momo. I'm here for you. Can I borrow some chips?
When you need a loan, you've got MTN Momo. We're so tingy. Use the Momo app or dial *165*5# for all quick loans. Choose from the different loan options from our partners and get one that works for you. Together, we're unstoppable.
We understand that everyone yearns for a clean, tidy, and convenient working environment. That's why 7-Star Cleaning Services, we strive to provide highly customizable cleaning solutions using environmentally friendly chemicals, state-of-the-art equipment, and well-trained workforce for our clients. We do both commercial and domestic cleaning services throughout the metropolitan areas. Visit our head office, Plot 4691, Ntinda Chisasi Road. Contact us on our official lines 0393 243 503 or visit our social media platforms. 7-Star Cleaning Services, a remarkable difference.
We asked the children, how many of you brushed this morning? And this little boy, his hand didn't go up. And I said, well, why didn't you brush this morning? He said, my brother was using the toothbrush. If I'd waited for him, I would have been late for school. I'm sorry, I get a bit emotional when it comes to that. To be able to change a child's life, to be able to bring back that confidence about their smile, for me, is phenomenal.
Sparkle Salon knows that good grooming is not an option in the modern world. It's a basic need, a need which we have for over 2 decades mastered provision of by building a great team of professionals and never compromising on the quality of our products. A need that we exist for and are very serious about. We want to give you the look that you desire. We have created great ambiances and convenience for our clients at all of our branches at Oasis Mall, Garden City, Lugogo Mall, Forest Mall, and Acacia Mall. Sparkle Salon, inspired by your needs.
Naja at 75. Naja at 75. Celebrating 75 years of service in 4th year. Naja at 75 Sports Gala, Music Festival, Ebenezer Couples Outing, Marathon, Health Camp, and Naja at 75 Thanksgiving on the 24th of March 2024. Kati muje nawe jangu noli jangu nange jangu. Twebaza abajaguza naffe abangi muje mu Health Camp. Okuva ng'ennaku z'omwezi 17 okutuusa ng'ennaku z'omwezi 22 omwezi guno ogwokusatu awo ku kanisa Najja Nankombi. Jangu bakukeberera ojjanjabwa endwadde zonna wamu n'okubudaabudibwa. Byonna ku bwereere. Jesus paid it all. Omwetabi omukulu mu Health Camp ye Katikkiro w'Obwakabaka bwa Buganda Charles Peter Mayiga ng'ennaku z'omwezi 18. And on 24th of March 2024 is the main Thanksgiving event. Mujje bangi mu kwebaza ku Seventh Day Adventist Church Najja Nankombi. Najja at 75 Thanksgiving ng'ennaku z'omwezi 21 ogwokusatu. Omugenyi omukulu asuubirwa okuba His Excellency the President Republic of Uganda. Kale waayo ekirabo kyo ky'okwebaza n'omutima gwo gwonna nga bwe tugaziya kanisa ya Mukama ya Seventh Adventist Church Najja Nankombi. Biwagiddwa NBS TV, Maranatha Financial Services, Maganjo Grain Millers, Light College Katikamu, Afro Mobile, Next to Radio, Sanyuka TV, n'abalala bangi.
Nyati Motion Pictures brings you Tuko Pamoja, Peoples of Eastern Uganda segment. How have they negotiated the colonial border that divided the Luya nation into two countries?
We didn't know there was a border to go and visit our father's only sister and our mother's only sister in Bungoma.
Tisimbi was the founder of the kingdom which came to be east of Nile, came from Bunyoro.
The Babukusu, the Luyas of Kenya. There is no difference.
One community.
Premiering on Saturday, the 23rd of March 2024 at the National Theatre from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. To get a ticket, call 0778 787 660. Tuko Pamoja?
Zook is the Sanyalia with Sun Times and give your family a memorable Easter holiday. Best kids entertainment on Cartoon, Boink, and a new channel, ST Tunes. New Star Park to Ghana drama series titled No Time, Customer Care, and the plot on Makula TV and Makula Chika. Non-stop movies on the new ST Movies channel. A thrilling title race in the Star Times UPL on Sanyuka Prime. Variety of channels added to spice up your Easter celebrations. That's not all. Nova customers on antenna subscribe at 16,000 shillings for Copper Bouquet to enjoy extra upgrade to the next higher bouquet on us. Everybody needs entertainment.
Well, news has taken a sharp twist, but also you should stay tuned to NBS Television because it's also about to take another sharp twist as we'll be bringing you the final results of Dokoloman Member of Parliament. As you can see there, they're done tallying. That's the Electoral Commission, and results will be announced soon as the frontline goes on. Be sure that you can catch that detail here on NBS Television.
And on the Morning Breeze, of course, tomorrow will be the media roundtable where journalists come together and chew on issues that have made headlines in the week. And the week has finished off in a few hours. Pam, pam! Now you don't know what the big story is.
Absolutely. Well, up next year is the NBS Frontline. At least one thing we can confirm is that one panelist on the Frontline has bounced back as Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs. And Charles
Perhaps one could even be the next CDF.
Charles Mangusha, I don't know what you'll be discussing tonight and whether things have changed, but take it away.
I've been watching Balam Barugahara for some time. I don't know if he continues promoting the generator or now he begins singing the other song, but
NBS Frontline. A brewing storm threatens the National Unity Platform, leaving it with a stark choice. Will it weather the tempest or be left in tatters? Speculations abounds concerning the latest NUP MP's caucus, where some members cited unavoidable circumstances for their absence, while others harbor bitterness over the treatment of the old guard.
You know, exposing him, but the way they are doing it is what it portrays.
The standoff between NUP's president and its Buganda deputy persists, with neither side inching towards compromise. Where will this impasse finally break?
Started with UPC, went to DP, went to FDC. There is no way NUP will survive.
In Dokolo, a closely contested woman MP by-election to find a replacement for the late Cecilia Ogwal comes to a close. Who will emerge victorious? Will the current events be a harbinger of the 2026 elections?
So to us, this is very, very encouraging, and I want to say I think Dokolo has set the benchmark for a peaceful, disciplined, and stable election.
Will we see a fiercely contested race with parties battling for victory, or will it be a one-horse race? This is The Frontline. NBS Frontline.
A very good evening and welcome to this edition of The Frontline. My name is Charles Mwangu Shampagi. We're still trying to process the press conference given earlier today by the leader of opposition when letters leaked about part of the information that he was discussing with the journalists about his per diem to visit the ailing colleague in Nairobi. Then shortly after that, we're waiting, of course, still for Dokolo, woman member of parliament by election. Those results should be coming out any moment from now, and we'll break the news here as and when it becomes available. But President Yoweri Museveni has just released what he calls a slightly amended cabinet list. He says in this cabinet list, in this cabinet list, we see some newcomers, a few people have been dropped, but majority of it, just like he says, slightly amended, retain their positions. We see Balaam Barugahara, who's been leading, one of the earliest members and one of the leading faces of the MK Army, and now PLU, being appointed to cabinet in a position of a state minister. We also see a few other people. Liliana Bear has joined cabinet. She's also been one of the key members. She is one of the key members of the PLU and the MK movement, plus a few others. What does that mean? What does that mean? We will analyze a bit of that. And the CDF has joined cabinet in a Minister of State position. Someone was joking and saying, now 3 former CDFs, 4 CDFs are now in cabinet. Katumba Wamala was CDF, he's in cabinet. General Muhoozi was CDF, is in cabinet. Wilson Imbadi was CDF, is in cabinet. JJ Odongo was CDF, now in cabinet. What does that mean? And as we move forward, we will look into that. The continuing rift, or rather the widening rift in the leading opposition political party, NUP. What does it say? Many people I've seen on X, former Twitter, have been arguing that we shouldn't be discussing that. But do you realize that a weak opposition, a scattered opposition, an opposition fighting with itself, undermines demand for accountability from the party holding power, including in parliament? I think for that reason, we need to keep a sharp focus on political parties in the opposition, especially the one that leads other opposition parties. To discuss that, I have, congratulations, Honorable Minister, you have retained your position in cabinet. Commander of the one-man army, Chairman Norbert Mao, and former frontliner. Very nice to have you.
Thank you. Thank you, Charles.
Ofono Opondo, Executive Director at the Uganda Media Center and frontliner. Very nice to have you.
And from Mulanda.
And from Mulanda.
Thank you very much. Good evening to our viewers.
And Cabinet continues to elude you. They announce and announce and announce.
You know there's the Honorable Magode Kuya.
Yes.
Mine is coming.
At the ripe old age of 70.
Yeah, that's when you really need it.
Yes.
Yeah.
was brought in a wheelbarrow.
Secretary General of the National Unity Platform, David Laus Rubongoya. Very nice to have you, sir.
Good to be here and a good evening to the viewers.
And frontliner, Member of Parliament for Kira Municipality, Shadow Minister for Finance. I struggle to align these things properly. Shadow Minister for Finance and the frontliner, the Honorable Ibrahim Semujungana. Very nice to have you.
Thank you, Charles.
Gentlemen, let's start with the latest news, which is the new cabinet. Honorable Minister, congratulations. Did this take you by surprise? Did you see it coming? Did you know that a shake-up was coming?
It's the president's prerogative. He chooses who he wants to serve with. It is a constitutional mandate. I don't think it is anybody's right. When I was appointed, I came here and told people that the person with the torch is the president. Anybody else who is in the cabinet simply has a mirror to reflect the light from the torch that the president holds. So he can choose to block the light, and then your mirror cannot have any light.
Yes, my question was, did you see this coming? Did you expect?
But it has been happening every time. I'm surprised that a journalist like you can ask such a question.
No, there's been a lot of
If
speculation
even
when it
political
would happen.
parties are reshuffling, why wouldn't the head of state also reshuffle? Even churches reshuffle.
When you did your memorandum of understanding with the chairman of the National Resistance Movement, you agreed to another position for the Democratic Party. I've been looking through the list. It doesn't seem to have been provided for.
The president of Uganda has our letter and our recommendations. I believe that he will consider it. There have been many changes, even when announcements have been made. I believe another official of the Democratic Party will be appointed to the cabinet. Just wait and see, because our job is to communicate, and he signed that document, and I believe he will abide by it.
Ofono Pondo, let me come to you. Any surprises for you on the slightly amended cabinet list?
No, I usually don't second guess the president, but by experience and precedent, we have never had a single term of government when a reshuffle hasn't been made midway. It is the president who knows his calculation or calculations. Also, the president has established his method of work, that apart from not being second guessed, he doesn't act on what public pressure. You may say so and so or are not good enough or have the following issues, but he will ignore, because I think he has a broader areas of considerations. You remember in 1997, when Honorable Jim Muhwezi, and 98, when Honorable Kutesa were censured by Parliament, he just he stayed put until that government ended.